Welcome back to Insight. David Farnbauch joins us from Sweeney Law Firm, and here to talk about some of the recent developments in Indiana medical malpractice law. Again, another area that is constantly evolving.
Well, I think they've come out with some information, Dirk, about how our system's really working. They've done some study. They found out that it's taking cases that are presented to our infamous medical review panel system an average of 2.3 years before a case goes through this panel. And so that all happens before you can bring your case in court. So it just sort of highlights what's wrong with our system. It takes way too long for consumers to get their case through a medical review panel.
What are they trying to fix that, or is that just we're living with 2.3 years?
Well, I think there's some discussion about whether to abolish the medical review panel system or trying to implement ways to try to change that, to make it a little bit quicker.
So I guess I don't really know exactly what they do. I'm assuming you bring a case forward and there's a board that has to look at that to judge the merits of the case?
Yeah, it's usually a panel of 3 physicians that receive all the medical records and arguments of the parties, and then these doctors make a decision as to whether the case has merit.
Tell me about the medical error reporting system. Is that related? Is that different? Is this part of the slowdown?
Well, it's sort of a separate issue. I saw an article in the Journal-Gazette last week where they talked about statewide there was 114 errors reported to this medical error report system in Indianapolis for the year 2014, and I just wanted people to know that if somehow they read that article and think that there were only 114 medical errors last year, there were a lot more than that.
Right.
They say that each year it's preventable medical errors are the 3rd leading cause of death in the United States behind cancer and heart disease. They average about 1,000 patients a day die as a result of preventable medical errors. So when you read that article in the paper about 114 errors statewide, that's really sort of not a good indicator of really how much malpractice there is. So it's one of the things we always talk to people about when we're on shows like this is there are steps that you can take. I don't have time today. The next time we're on Insight, we're going to talk about things that patients can do so that they can avoid being one of those statistics. There are things that patients can do to protect themselves.
And last, I know you wanted to talk about some of the legislation that's being bandied around about putting caps on damages.
Well, we have a cap right now, Dirk, of $1.25 million in Indiana. So regardless of how significant the damages are, you're going to be capped out at $1,250,000, which, as you can imagine, in a lot of cases, that's woefully inadequate. Like a brain damaged baby case that's going to need lifetime medical care, $1,250,000 is not even going to begin to approach what the real damages are. So there is now legislation that's being discussed down in Indianapolis to raise the cap. It hasn't been raised in 17 years.
Wow.
So even though medical costs have gone up because of inflation, the cap has remained the same as it's been for 17 years. So there's talk to move it up to $1.65 million, maybe $2.2 million. So that really needs to happen to just keep pace with inflation.
It's a lot of good stuff out there, and I know that if somebody has questions, they feel like somehow they've been injured with the medical system, that you guys are willing to guide them through that process.
Yes.
If you'd like to find out more about Sweeney Law Firm, you can give them a call at 420-3137, 420-3137, or SweeneyLawFirm.com. We will be right back here on Insight.